everyone. How are you? We have a lot of us joining in. Everyone, hi Mahima, hi Adnan, hi Samba. Hey guys, if you can hear us and you can see us, just type a short hi or a hello and a good evening in the chat panel, please. Good, we are not able to see right now. Can you please check your webcam once?
Absolutely. Is this better now?
Yes. Welcome to the webinar for today. So we have a lot of people joining in very, very rapidly from all over the world. We have Rachit Agrawal, Gargi, Sushant, Priyanka, Vijay, and just the eyes are coming in. And they're all looking forward to talking to you, Gundeep, today and having a great interaction. Thanks so much for taking out time in this hectic time when people are, trying to help each other come over COVID and all the, tragedies that are coming through. Thanks for taking out time for helping the student community and giving back. Admitkard welcomes you for the webinar today evening. Thanks, guys, for joining in. And I won't take too much time. I'll just quickly introduce myself. I'm Piyush Bhartiya. I'm the co-founder of Admitkard. Admitkard is an online platform that helps students who want to study abroad. We are very glad today to bring Gundeep to all of you so that he can share his success story with all of us and inspire us to achieve more and to target more than what we believe we are capable of, to help us open up our minds and figure out how we can actually be successful and how can we hack a top admit from a top university. So guys, welcome Gundeep. I'll just give a quick introduction of him and I'll request him to take over. So Gundeep, he's a ex-Microsoft, Amazon guy who's worked with all top kind of universities, all kind of top kind of companies. He has a very illustrious career in education. He's completed his MS in computer science from Columbia University, and right now he's pursuing a management degree from Harvard. He's been teaching staff at Harvard at graduate level courses and multiple courses as well that you can see. He's an accomplished technology leader, a hacker, an investor, and an entrepreneur. So he's worn many hats from technology to management to hacking, and he was going to actually show us some creative ways of hacking today also during his time. So guys, please watch out for that, and it was so much fun for me to know about that from Gundeep. He's also been a TEDx speaker, and in February 20, he gave a TEDx speech. He's a keynote speaker at many institutes like IITs, CBI, IMA, and many more. And we're lucky to have him as a keynote speaker here today on Admitkard webinar. He was Top 50 Tech Leaders Award. He received the Top 50 Tech Leaders Award at California and elected thought leader by the Leadership and Management Institute. He's also a gold awardee of International Award for Young People in September 2009. So he's been there, done that. He's received multiple accolades, yet you see him here smiling like one of us. He's human, guys. And he has achieved this not through magic or sometimes, like he likes to say, he has done it through hacking by understanding what does it take to be successful. So guys, not taking much time from him, I would like to welcome Gundeep to take on the stage and share more about his life, how he got it, and how he has turned his dreams into reality. Welcome, Gundeep.
Wonderful. Thank you, Piyush. Thank you so much for such a warm welcome and being so generous with your words. Thank you so much for being kind. I'm excited to be here. So let's get started with the presentation. I actually do have some slides that I can walk you through. And the topic that we've chosen for today is Hack a Top School Admit. So hopefully you are here for the same topic and you're in the right room, right webinar, and this is something that relates to you and is exciting for us to spend the next hour talking about it. So Gundeep, that's me. I have already been introduced, so I'll just talk about my. I know Piyush about my me being a techie, me being an entrepreneur, me being a TEDx speaker. But here today, as Piyush actually alluded to, I'll be talking about me as a hacker, right? So there are a lot of things that a hacker's mindset helps you drive life lessons, right? And I do feel that all the life lessons, that conditioning of the mind that happened purely because I was so deep down into hacking, somehow, somewhere played a role in getting me an admit at 2 Ivy League colleges, Columbia and Harvard. So I'll just talk a little bit about the winning mindset that the hacking gave me. And I hope that will be exciting and we can draw some life lessons around that. All right, so winning mindset, right? So let's just define winning mindset, right? What is a winning mindset? Winning mindset is anything that basically tells you that I've got a goal and I've got to win it. I will not stop at anything unless I get it done, right? And what does that require? That requires immense focus, right? You need relentless focus to ensure that what you are setting your target, what goal you've set for yourself, that is something that you cannot for even half a minute keep it out of sight, out of mind, right? And more importantly, if you look at how hackers approach this focused mindset, they take everything as a challenge, right? It's a very interesting story. When I started hacking, my email ID got hacked, right? Not that I had anything personal, a lot of privacy concerning my data, but I took it as a challenge. I said, you know what? If somebody can do it to me, I can do it to somebody, right? And I self-taught myself. I learned, I took it as a challenge, did everything it required to get that skill developed, right? Then another thing, right? This statement of seems difficult is very exciting to me, right? Because whenever I think of somebody telling me, hey, Gundeep, that seems difficult, right? Quote unquote, seems difficult. That's a music to your ears. Reason? Because whenever somebody is telling you this is difficult, they are telling you that they don't actually see you accomplishing it, right? And that is an inherent challenge. And it excites me no end, right? I remember one time I was on a basketball field playing a match and we were 9 points down. And my coach, for the first time ever, walked up to me and said, Gundeep, winning this match seems difficult. I don't think we can really get this one, but do your best. And that somehow charged me. And I just went in with my team and I said, hey, it's not over until it's over. Let's get this. And we actually turned the game around and we actually ended up with a tie, right? 9-point game and ended up with a tie. And my coach was confused. He said, I have given such motivation speech and I've seen great results, but I've never seen such a sad, deluded, given up speech make such a difference, right? But it's how you take it. So for me, nothing works better than telling me, hey, Gundeep, I don't think that's something that you can do. I don't think that is easy. I don't think that is achievable. That seems difficult. That excites me, right? And another thing that's very peculiar about hackers is that failure is not really an option for them. They don't think of failure as something that this is a point that they have to give up. What hackers think of failures as just another revision. They think, hey, it's just an iteration. It's not it's not if I will get in. It's about when I will get in. It's not a question of whether I can actually do what I'm supposed to do. It's only how long will it take me to get where I want to see myself, right? So failure is just another word for revisions. If I fail, I learn. I improve, I go at it again. If I fail again, I learn again, but I don't fail. I don't give up, right? So that's the winning mindset. And please, Piyush, Parag, keep me honest with the chat. Please give your winning mindset stories in the chat. Let's keep it engaging. I'm here to talk to you guys. This is something that I want you to take away with when after spending an hour with me. So just any winning story that comes to your mind where somebody told you, hey, it seems difficult, and you took that as a challenge and you said, I will not stop until I get this done. Just chat this in. And Parag, Piyush, let me know if there are interesting stories coming up.
Definitely, guys, do putting it on the chat. I'm having a look at it, and Gundeep, I'll let you know.
Absolutely. Wonderful. All right. Okay, so let me, while you're putting in your stories, don't want you to stop that, keep doing that. But let me get to one question that I don't know have been asked me has been asked to me a gazillion times, right? And it's a question which a lot of you will be able to relate to, because at some point I believe you might have asked this question, given where you are at in your career at this stage. But since I have a 2 Ivy League degree, the first question within 5 minutes of my introduction, almost every single time happens is, how did you get into Columbia Howard, right? And you are living like a dream of like 4 or 5 students put together, right? How did you do it? How did you achieve, right? And while that is a very interesting, peculiar, gratifying, interesting, boisterous kind of a question, which I love hearing all the time, I do feel that there is a lot that goes behind that question, right? There are 2 parts to it. The first part, how did you get into Columbia? Very simple. If the question is aligned on the process, somebody wants to understand what it takes to get into Columbia or Harvard or another Ivy League university, the process is very simple, guys. And I'm sure companies like Admitkard, counselors, mentors can really drill down the process for you. I may not be the best person to talk about the process, because when I applied, it was a long time back, and that information could be dated. But the best sources, go check out the website and you'll get everything. It typically consists of a SOP, essay, it needs some letter of recommendations, and some evaluative exams like GRE, some prescriptive exams like IELTS, TOEFL, yada yada. But it's not something that's not achievable, right? Pretty straightforward. A lot of people go through it. That's the process part of it. But what I want to highlight is the question when you actually ask, the question in your mind, or at least in your subconscious, is, can I get into Columbia Howard, right? You camouflage that question by saying, how did you get into? And somewhere, somehow, you're expecting the person to give you a silver bullet answer that you can somehow apply in your life and take that as a cheat code and use it to get yourself into Columbia and Harvard, right? And the question that you're really wanting an answer is, can I get into an Ivy League university? Right, so that's exactly what I'm here to answer. And one of the things that I find very, very, disheartening is that the moment you ask this question, there's nothing wrong with this question. There's always some bit of analysis, there's some bit of evaluative approach that you should go through. But a lot of people, when they ask this question, unfortunately, have this self-doubt in them. Can I? Right? Harvard has an acceptance rate of 5%. It's too selective in their process. Am I good enough, right? Those kind of questions come into your mind. So first of all, do not self-doubt, because if you don't have confidence, if you can't convince yourself that you are worthy of getting into an Ivy League university, guess what? You will never be able to get anyone convinced on the admission panel of these universities, right? So the first step is convince yourself. Leave no room for self-doubt. And don't outsource this question to somebody else. Find an answer for yourself. If the question is really, can I get into Harvard? You can. And you figure out how, right? And I'll help you as much as possible to navigate through those questions and how to have that mindset, how to ask those right set of questions. But that'll just be to assist you, but you will be the prime reason, the centerpiece of making this happen for your own self, right? Moving on, A related question is, am I good? Right? And when you think of, can I get into Harvard? A following question, immediate question is, am I that good? Right? Is this the right question to ask? Let's just have a yes or no on the chat. Is this a good question? Is this the right question to ask yourself? Just a simple chat, yes or no. Piyush, just keep me honest here. How many yeses and nos split are we getting on the chat here? Again, the question is, am I good? Is this the right question?
Yep, please guys, please type it out if you think that's a yes or a no.
My screen is blocked, so I really can't see the chats, but would love to know what's going on.
Most of the people are saying yes. We have a couple of no's, but yes, most of the people are saying
all right, perfect. So the ones who are saying no's are my favorites already, because this is not the right question to ask, right? Because as I was alluding to, am I that good, is a question that comes from a point of weakness. It's a question that comes from a point of self-doubt, and we don't want to leave any room to doubt ourselves. The question that we need to, actually not a question, what we need to do is we need to convert this into a statement. It's not, am I that good? It's, I am that good, right? And again, convince yourself of this, because if you can't convince yourself, I promise you, no matter what I say in this next, whatever time we have, it will not work. Because one thing that worked for me, and if Priyanka ma'am is on the webinar, she was my counselor back then, is that when I did my shortlisting of universities and I got universities, B-grade universities, Stony Brook, California universities, some B-grade universities, and I'm like, hey, I want to get into the Ivy League. And I didn't have the profile back then, but I had the confidence, because I said, I am that good. If I've not achieved what it takes to go there, I will do that. But I believe in myself. I have that faith in myself that I am that good, right? So it all started from there. So that's why I'm starting from there, that I am that good. So keep the chats flowing in. People who believe, they do feel that they are that good to get into Harvard, just +1 on chat. Just say that, yes, I am that good to get into Harvard. Would love to see some chats even at the end of the webinar, but just keep that going. It will do a lot of good to you. All right. So let's dissect this, right? So where does this I am that good question come from, right? And I talked about Harvard having a 5% acceptance rate, right? So for so many regrets, so many people that get rejected, there are very few people who actually get accepted at Harvard, right? So a natural question is, if a process is that selective, what is in me to be that green person to get an accept versus that red who gets a reject, right? So I completely understand that, right? I do understand that is something that, really puts you to wonder that, with a 5% acceptance rate, what are my chances? Am I that good to get into a university that has a 5% acceptance rate? What I would tell you is, don't worry about the reds. Focus on the green and keep telling yourself, I am that good. And if you're still not convinced, let me tweak that question a little bit and say, what if I tell you that your chances of getting into Harvard are actually not 5%, they're actually 90%? Would you, A, believe me? And if you believe me, wouldn't that be exciting? So this is where I really want you to chat in, because if you do believe me, then I would love to, congratulate you. And if you don't, I will challenge myself. As I mentioned earlier, I love challenges. I will challenge myself to actually prove it to you, to literally, mathematically prove it to you that the chances of you getting into Harvard is 90%. So who are the people who are with me, who believe me, and who are the people who don't believe me? Just a rough estimate, Piyush, what's the kind of a split? Majority leaning towards believing me, Am I good for my word or not?
I believe you, Gundeep, for starters. I'll wait for more people to come in and share their views.
Beautiful. Anyone who said no? Anyone who said, any chat who said they don't believe that their chances of getting in is 90%?
The answers are coming in, but yes, a lot of people believe that yes, they are good and they are plussing one, and yes, they
Awesome.
believe. They are believing in you, Gundeep. They are just waiting for your golden words. Go ahead.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. So thank you guys for taking my word on it. But for the ones who are still a little skeptical and don't really take my word for it, let's just break it down, right? So let's do a quick math here, all right? So total applications. How many applications does Harvard get on yearly? I mean, I'm just taking a ballpark. So just to get my point across, those might not be accurate numbers, but roughly it gets about 43,000-ish. That's the last year application that they got. So I've just taken that number, 43,000 applications every year, right? And let's just, look at what kind of applications they get, right? Let's just, look at this pie chart and, classify these applications, right? So the first type of application is world class, right? I'm guessing there are about 1,000 applications that are absolutely top class, right? They are, doing everything they can. They are the best in what they do, and they are just absolute best, and they improve the world in some shape or form, right? They contribute and bring a change into the world, right? So that's the world class applications, roughly about 2%, 3% of those applications of the total pool, right? Then the next part is the strong, right? These are applications that are above average. They've been doing fairly good in their school. They've been really working hard in their academics. They've been doing co-curriculars, great profiles. So strong profiles, 15%, 16%, roughly 7,000 applications could be in that category, which we can call strong, right? Now, most of the applications will actually fall into this bucket, which is average, right? This is mediocre. That this is, these are people who are, getting decent grades. They are decent with their co-curriculars. They're just like everyone else, right? So that's the majority portion, which is about 30,000, which constitute about 70% of the applications Harvard actually gets. And then there are about 6,000 applications that are weak, right? These are the people who are applying to Harvard, with a very, very, just as a wish list, right? Let me just apply to Harvard, right? There are a lot of people who give IITJ, knowing that, they might not even get to the second question or the third question, right? They're just there because it's a tradition, they've been forced, or they just want to, gamble with their luck or whatever, right? So this is roughly about 6,000 applications and about like 12% of the total pool, right? So that's the rough, split when we look at the total applications and how they are in terms of, classifying them. Let's look at the other side of the pie, right? So the other side of the pie is acceptance. How many acceptance does Harvard do? So Harvard did roughly about 2,100 accepts, I think, last year. So this is the data from last year. But let's break it down again into those four categories, right, that we had: the world class, the strong, the average, the weak, right? And out of those 43,000 applications, we had about roughly we said 1,000 applications are world class, right? Harvard will take 900 of those 1,000. A very immediate question is, why not all 1,000? So the answer there is that yes, you can actually do everything right and be the best that you are doing, and just change the world, but you might have a terrible attitude, right? Or you might not fit with the culture of the university, right? So these are those 100 people who have everything that it takes in terms of skill, but don't have the right attitude to get into the university, right? So if you look at world-class applications, they generally accept about 900 out of those 1,000, right? Now let's look at the strong, right? Strong, they had 7,000 applications. They'll probably pick like 720, 730 of them, right? They'll fill their pool with 40% of these strong applications. And there you go. That's the rough split in my mind, right? And average, they don't like to pick a lot of mediocre students. So they will pick roughly about 300, because here is where they're actually placing their bet into an individual who is decent with everything that they do, right? And on the week, this is just lottery. This is your, odds are against you. They'll pick maybe 20, 30 from this pool out of the 6,000 that apply, right? So this is the application acceptance split for all those 4 categories, right? So this is where the magic happens. So let's bring it side to side, right? 43,000 total applications, 2,000 accepts, right? Last year's data divided into 4 clusters: world-class, strong, average, weak. And we have the number of applications and the number of accepts in the tabular form, right? So here, the right question, or if you're good at math, the first thing that you'll notice is that, hey, Gundeep, you started saying that, 90% is my chance, but you're actually telling me it's 0.1%. Because guess what? Only 300 get accepted out of a pool of 30,000, right? On average. And I see myself there, and 0.1% is even worse than 5%. So you even managed to, somehow take away that hope that I initially had with 5 and lower it to 0.1%, right? But I still stand by my statement. You have a 90% chance of getting in. What's the catch? What is the catch? I'm making it easy for you, just to promote some chats coming in. What's the catch? Anyone who was able to see it the way I see it? Piyush, anybody chatted in saying that, hey, this is
for the response.
All right. We'll give them a few seconds. A simple yes would do. If you are at my wavelength, if you can see where I'm going with this, a simple yes would do, that you are able to see how I look at it. It's very clear, right? If you compare yourself 5% and you put yourself in an average bucket, the chances will be less. But what I want you to do instead is look at it from a different perspective, perspective B, that I'm putting in front of you, right? So 5% was your average acceptance rate that Harvard does, but you look yourself in an average bucket or the strong bucket, or definitely not the weak bucket. You look at yourself as a world-class applicant. And if you do that, your chances are 90%, right? This is that golden legend, golden color that I'm presenting to you. That's so much better than a strong green, so much better than a yellow 0.1, and definitely a lot better than a small tiny 0.03 being in this weak category, right? And see how it compares to your average acceptance rate at Harvard. You've got a 90% shot at getting accepted at an Ivy League university, right? So, it's just, I wanted to visually, mathematically break it down for you so that this is something that you take away from this particular talk, keynote, whatever, that you have a 90% chance of getting it. Now, the next question is, Gundeep, you tell me that I have a 90% chance of getting in, but for that I have to be a world-class applicant, right? And it's hard. It's really hard to be a world-class applicant, right? I never said it won't be hard. I just said your chances are better than what you think they are. Your chances of getting into a university of your choosing is a lot higher than what you look and how you interpret the stats. It is hard. There is no denying that. And to be honest, hard, you would have not got that sense of accomplishment, right? The greater the level of it being hard, the greater the sense of accomplishment, the greater sense of achievement you get, right? But what I want you to think is, I want you to think that it is harder for the other people. It's harder for the people who are in the strong. It's definitely a lot harder for the people who are in an average. And I might even use the word, it's impossible for the people who are in the weak, right? But it is hard, not for me. It's hard for the other people. And something very beautiful, Randy Pausch, in one of his, in fact, in his last lecture, he mentioned that the brick wall is not to stop you. It is to stop the other people. So if you think in those lines that yes, there is a brick wall in front of me, but it's not for me, I'll find a way to cross it. It's for the other people who will stop at that brick wall, right? So it is hard, but not for you. It's for the other people, right? All right. So now that I've told you that, hey, guys, your chances are getting into a university is 90% of your choosing, and it is hard for the other people. It's not hard for you, so you can have a very pleasant sleep. You can sleep like a baby, right? Is that right? Do you think your job ends here? A yes or no, right? Keep the chats flowing in, guys. I would love to interact with you. I want you to engage with me. And unfortunately, this is the best way to engage. Please get your chats in. Do you think you can sleep peacefully because of what I said so far? I'm looking for a no. So I'm even actually telling you that the answer is no. So I want you to chat in no if you actually believe in what I'm saying. You cannot rest, because that's the wrong thing. That's not my agenda. That's not what I'm here to tell you guys. But what I'm to tell you guys is be a world-class applicant. And for that, your work actually starts now. And that'll require late nights, that'll require passion, that'll require focus, that'll require a lot of energies on your part to be that world-class applicant. And you can't rest for a moment. Everything that you do has to get you closer to that goal that you've set for yourself, to be a world-class applicant, right? All right, cool. So moving on, so how do you become a world-class applicant, right? So I just want to, walk you through the thought process, ask the right questions. And the first question is, all right, Gundeep, I won't rest. I will be a world-class applicant because I want a 90% shot at getting into Harvard. What to do? What to do, right? Now, is this the right question to ask? Again, I'm coming back to it. I just wanted to be engaging, yes or no. Yes, this is the right question to ask. It's the next obvious question. No, I don't think that's the right question. And if you think no, what is the right question to ask? I'll just give you some time to think over it. The question is what to do in order to become a world-class applicant. Is this the right question that you should be asking? Yes, no. In my opinion, this is not the right question to ask, because I can tell you, you ask me what to do. I'm like, hey, you know what, Parag, there's this applicant who got into Harvard who actually climbed the biggest mountain peak, 30,000 feet above the ground solo with his bare hands. That actually got him to Harvard. Why don't you do that? I'm pretty sure that you'll get a 90% shot at, getting admitted if you do this, right? Because you asked me what to do. I told you what to do, which really could work because it has worked in the past, right? But can you actually do that, right? So the question is not what to do. The question that you have to ask yourself is, what can I do, right? Because there are a lot of things that could get you an admission into Harvard, but not necessarily the things that you can do. So you have to look at what are the things that you can do in order to make yourself a world-class applicant. All right. So the next question is, all right, so I have identified, few things that I can do that will establish me as a world-class applicant. Now, there are so many things that I can do, right? I can write a book, I can do research, I can do certifications, I can, do just 20 things that I have identified for myself, right? What should I do? Now, is this a right question to ask? Yes or no, guys? Again, I'm making this engaging, I'm making this interactive, I'm wanting you to get something out of this. Just engage with me here. Now the question is, what should I do? Is this the right question to ask? And if you're getting where I'm going and you're sensing the pattern of my talk, you'll know the answer. The answer is actually no. Even this is not the right question to ask. Because when you say, what should I do? You are looking at the top 3-4 things that you want somebody to prioritize for you and do those 4 things, right? You are looking at those 5 things that you should do and you can do that will increase your chances into getting into Harvard. And you're looking at those, that magic top 5 things. But I don't want you to ask anybody else to prioritize for you. I don't want you to spend too much time in prioritizing and looking for, hey, out of these 20 things, what are the top 5 things that I want to do? What I want you to do instead is, what should I do first? Just have a running list, stack rank it very quickly. You've got a book, you've got a research paper, you've got a certification, you've got many, many things. What can you start with? Let me start with writing a book. That takes longest. Let me get started with that. Let me do a certification. Let me do a research. What is it that excites you? What are you passionate about? What do you want to do? And what do you want to start with doing first? What should you do first is what you should identify, and just keep going down the list. Because if you're going down the list, you are saving time that a lot of people in today's world spend in asking 20,000 people. They'll ask everyone they know, everyone who's even mildly successful, hey, what should I do? I have these 20 options. Should I do this or that? Should I do this or that? Somebody will say this, somebody will say that. And you will start doing a quick poll. And the goal of that poll would be to identify what are the top 3 things that I should be doing. The amount of time that you waste doing that, rather spend it, just go with your gut, keep doing it, and go down the list. Because once you start doing that, the only limiting factor will be time. The only limiting factor will be time. You will only run out of time while going down the list. Right? So just keep doing it. And if it is in the top 3 things that really matter, there you go. You've done it. And if it isn't, guess what? It's still in your favor. You're setting yourself apart from the rest of the people. Your application will stand out. It'll be unique. So it's a win-win. So what should I do first is the right question to ask. All right. And what I want you to do is, I want you to think about this application process of telling your story, right? And there's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong answer with this, right? Because you are the hero and the heroine of your story. You do your best in being your director of this movie that you're producing. Forget whether this will be a hit, it'll reach 1 million users, or only your family will see it. You do your best. You have a job of telling a story. Forget about it being successful later, right? And if you're genuine, if you're authentic, if you believe in what you say, people will relate to it, right? Now, coming to just key takeaways, I just want to quickly sum it up, summarize it for you. We talked a lot about the winning mindset. We talked a lot about, asking the right questions. But I just want to summarize this for you in a very, very, crisp form so that you can walk away with a lot of clarity in what you need to do versus, giving you a lot of open-ended thoughts, right? So the first thing, winning mindset. Right? The winning mindset is, yes, I can do this. I can do this, right? Keep telling yourself, I am that good, right? Ask the right questions. It's not about, I am that good. Am I that good? It's, I am that good. It's a, what should I do? What should I do first, right? Ask the right questions. Self-confidence. There is no room for doubt. Be confident. Don't be overconfident. That's why I'm not saying that your chances of getting into Harvard is 100% or 99.9. It's 90%. You're confident. Don't let it turn into overconfidence. Hard work starts now. If you believe that you can be that world-class applicant, if you believe that you want a 90% chance of getting into Harvard, you can't rest. Your work starts from now. Think big. Think absolutely big, as big as you can. Don't think small. Whenever you're building your story, whenever you're wanting to walk that journey, think big. Don't think, hey, I want to be, a school captain of my soccer team. I think I want to play at the nationals. I want to represent India in soccer, right? Think as big as you potentially can. And then once you've thought so big, it might just overwhelm you at some point. It might daunt you. And then the process is start small. You might not get to represent India, in 5 days from now in a soccer tournament, but start small. Start practicing soccer. Start representing your school. Start representing district. Join clubs, and at some point you will represent India if that's your goal, right? So think big. Your thinking has to be big, and you have to take small steps towards that, right? All right. So that's the key takeaways. And one thing that I can't emphasize enough: keep your motivations high throughout. It's a long process. Your motivations has to be high. If you need me to remind you, it won't sustain. I have done my job by telling you what I've learned. These are things that I wish I knew when I was applying. I wish I knew, or I wish somebody told me when I was applying. But I'm telling you all what I know, right? But what you can do for yourself is keep your motivations high all the time, right? So with that, I want to ask you this question. How is the Josh? High, chat in high. If you still feel, you're not up to it, let me know. But if you feel that you have the energy, you have the zeal, you have the passion, you have the excitement, you have the whatever it takes, you have the high Josh to get into an Ivy League of your choice, type in high in the chat window and keep the Josh high throughout your application process.
Come on, guys, let's build in that enthusiasm. Let's get that belief in ourselves, and let's pledge that, yes, we are going to be the best version of ourselves.
Wonderful. Thank you, Piyush. And I'll just leave you with a quote. And this is a quote that's very special to me. This was done a long time ago, and I wrote this to my mother. There is this. I went to a shop where I actually designed this photo frame. I painted it myself. This is my work. I put this together, and I wanted it to be special, so I wrote something for my mother. Which is to believe in yourself. And the quote, it went like this: If your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough. And when they do scare you, be fearless. Right? So I want you to think about this. There is no dream that's big. It has to be really astronomically big for you to be scared of it. And once you're scared, when people are laughing at you, hey, you really want to achieve that? Then just go achieve it and be fearless.
I think that's very true, Gundeep. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. I think it's going to help all of us here to have more clarity, have more faith in ourselves. And I related with it like 100%. It's the same mindset that you need to do a startup, right? And when there's just so many doubts, you cannot just replicate what the other successful startup did. You need to do something different. You can't spend too much time thinking. You have to act and start building out something. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to aim big, and everything that you said, is just so much relatable. I think that is the winning mindset that we need to build in to become a winner. And thank you so much for sharing that with all of us. And just to break it up a little, make it more fun than only the learning side. Could you please share that live hack that that got you excited into hacking? And it will just a fun few-minute task that we would all love to see and enjoy along with you.
All right. I was actually warned that this might happen, and I do shy away from doing live hacks because at some point it does get me, a lot of unwanted spotlight. But all right. So I just want to put this my contact on the slide. You can guys take a screenshot or whatever. Feel free to reach me. We will have a Q&A, I believe, towards the end where you will have an opportunity to ask questions. But I just had this contact details for you guys to reach me at. and I hope you guys done that. Now, coming to, I'll stop sharing my screen so that I can see you guys. All right, all right. Okay, perfect. So let's do this. I would love to see uh, the chat with two volunteers, because for a live hack, I will need two volunteers. So I'll request for volunteers, and then I will tell you what I'm about to do. All right. So a request is, I want two people to either raise their hand. We can promote them to the presenter stage, but the ask is I need two volunteers. Are we having two volunteers here?
Guys, the first two guys who ping would become volunteers, okay? I have seen it, so I don't want to be one. I think it is quite. We have somebody raising a hand. That's Nidhi Rana.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And we have Tegveer.
Perfect, perfect. So while you guys promote them, is there a way that we can promote them to the stage so that they can engage with us? So while you guys are, getting promoted to the stage, now that you've raised your hand, there's no going back. I'll tell you what I'm about to do. All right. So I'll do a live mobile hack, and we've got Tejveer and Nidhi, right, Piyush?
Nidhi and Tegveer, yes.
Nidhi and Tegveer. All right. So what I'll actually do is I will use Tegveer's number to call Nidhi. Does that sound exciting? The reason I don't want to do it the other way, because then I believe Teg will get lucky getting Nidhi's number. So let me do it the reverse way. Let me use Teg's number and call Nidhi. All right. So is that exciting? And I need a lot of excitement in the chat for doing this. I'm not presenting my screen, so I can actually see the yeses and no. And if you are excited, put in yes. Put in excited. If you don't want me to do this, I'm happy to not do it. But only if you are, excited and it gives you that thrill, I'll do it. So I have yeses from few people. And what this does also is this also actually helps you be part of what I'm doing. So I'm not the only one to be blamed. So when I'm doing a live hack, you are as much party to, whatever's happening as much as, me performing this. All right, perfect. Okay, cool. So we've got Teg, and can we promote Nidhi as well on the stage? Okay, so Teg. Okay, I somehow activated my Google Voice. All right, so Teg and Nidhi, what I want you to do is I want you to send me your phone numbers via a private chat. So I believe there's an option to chat.
Yeah, there's an option.
Yeah.
Perfect. Just a chat, send it to admin only. Just send me your phone number privately. Nidhi, if you could do the same for me, please. So that I can move ahead and attempt to make a call from using Teg's number and call Nidhi. So I'm waiting for the phone numbers. I haven't yet got it.
I have sent it. Could you check it?
Okay, I've got yours, Teg.
Yeah.
Nidhi, I'm still waiting on your number. If this is the same Nidhi Rana, I saw that you said hi, sir. Not the hi as a greeting, the hi. So I'm assuming you said the Josh is hi. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Yeah, okay, I do see that there's a little bit of lag, I think, in the chat, because I'm seeing.
Can you see that now?
Yeah, I can. But I think it's responding to my previous Josh question, because I'm getting a lot of highs Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Very, very high. Lipsa, thank you. All right. I still need a way to get those phone numbers. Piyush, do you think how I have Take's number? How can we get Nidhi's
I
number?
I can message you, Nidhi. Just hold on.
Perfect. Perfect.
I've sent you.
Awesome. So I'm just going to switch my screen. I hope I'm not presenting my screen. All right. So I'll switch my screen. You have given it to me. In the meantime, is it possible that we can promote Nidhi on the presenters panel? All right. Is Nidhi with us?
We've not been able to promote her. She's not accepted the request.
Nidhi, can you please accept your request? I would love to have you display your phone so that people actually do realize that there is a call that's coming to you. And then Teg can maybe confirm whether it is his phone number that he gave me. So I would need Nidhi to come on board with this.
Can we do that, Parag? Is that possible?
Or any other volunteer who's willing to share the phone number and receive a very interesting phone call can raise his hand and we can promote him, and I can use another number.
We have Sahib here who shared his number as well. Parag, can we try to promote Sahib?
Sure, sir. Sahib, yeah. Sahib, if you can please accept my request.
And again, I would need some way of getting that phone number.
Yeah, I think Nidhi has joined the room now.
Oh, wonderful. All right. So we've got our original person, and I think they might be more interested in calling Nidhi than Sahil. Just making an assumption here. So let's see if this actually can work.
Did you guys receive any calls?
Nidhi, can you switch on your camera and show us if the phone is ringing? Nidhi, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you receiving any call?
Not yet.
Not yet. That is not encouraging. Let me confirm your number once again.
Somebody hacked your code.
I know. This is when happens when I'm not prepared for this. All right, let's do this. Let's try something else.
Okay, guys, just to make it a bit more encouraging and interesting, I would request Nidhi and
Yes,
Tegvi to
sir.
actually turn on their cameras.
That'll be wonderful.
Yes, sir. I received a call.
Oh, you did? Oh, there is a lag, my Wi-Fi. All right. Let me do this once again.
Right.
No worries. Let me do this once again, and we will get to this. Instead, this time, let me not use my browser. Let me use my own number, so that I'm using. All right. Let me see if all my checks are in place, because it's a little difficult doing it, placing a call from your phone, but my Wi-Fi is interrupting me. So let me see if I can do it this way. All right.
You have your videos turned on, please.
Yes, sir. I'm receiving your call.
You are? Why don't you pick it up?
All right.
Hello? Hi, Nidhi. Can you hear me? You can hear me on my phone. All right. So what's Teg? I'm sorry if I'm disclosing a number, but I don't think you'll mind. Nidhi, can you just tell me which number am I calling you from? Teg, I want you to confirm that's your number.
Sure.
Sorry? Can you talk through the phone number that you've that's displayed, or if you can just? Oh, you're not here on the presentation. You could have just flashed your phone here.
Not in a very good network.
Yeah, she's dropped off. I lost my call as well. Nidhi left the room. Or did I spook her or what? Okay, Nidhi joined again. Let's make this work. Hey Nidhi, are you there with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. So can you, if it's okay, can you switch on your webcam and just show us what was showing, which number flashed?
Okay, just a minute.
Absolutely, take your time.
Actually, the number I gave was the same as the one on which I've joined the meet. So should I send you one more? Should I send you one more number on which you can call? So that I
No.
can share.
You got the call, right? It must be on your call logs now. The call, since you spoke with me, it will be in your call logs. I just want you to go to your call log and confirm the number that was flashing in when you received the call. Is it clear? I believe you're logged in through your phone, is it? Yeah. That's an interesting thing to check for the next time. People who are on their because probably that's why the lag was, because on your end, I'm not sure. You won't be able to show us your phone since you're logged in by a phone. So if somehow you can confirm the number, if that's a possibility, or real quick we could let's promote Sahib. I think Nidhi is having some connection issues. We had another
So can you
volunteer,
hear me
right?
now?
Yes, Nidhi, we can hear you. Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you too.
Wonderful.
So
can
I
you just
received a call.
Yes, the last 3 digits.
The last 3 digits are 3, 7, and 0.
Is that your last 3 digits of your number? Perfect.
That's
So
correct.
he's saying thumbs up. I could have given the full number, but let's respect Take's privacy here. And thank you, Nidhi, for being a sport, for confirming that you actually got a call from Take's number. And if you call him back, you will be able to speak to Take uh, in case you decide to. It was me who was calling you, but you will not be able to reach me. All right. So, Piyush, I did
Thank you so
what you asked me for.
much, and thanks everybody for the taking. We're running slightly over time, but I had some very important questions for Gundeep. For some of us who wanted to have a direct question, know his story slightly more detail. I have had, uh, I would, so I just have some patience. We'll take maybe 10 more minutes, and I quickly, I request Gundeep to share something slightly more in depth about his experience at Columbia and Harvard. Uh, Only one question that keeps coming to my mind is that, uh, what is the single biggest mistake that you believe everyone?
Piyush, your voice was cracking. It was not super clear. Can you repeat that once again for me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, better.
Yeah. So, what is the biggest mistake that all the applicants, according to you, are doing on their application?
So, what's the biggest mistake the applicants do when they're applying through the process? Is that the question?
In the process, while they're preparing for it, while they're thinking about it.
Okay, so while they're thinking about it, all right, got it. So one of the things that I do see, it's very common, and especially in India. You don't see this, in US and other countries, but in India, one thing that really, surprises me is that there is a lot of herd mentality that goes on, right? So whenever somebody, I mean, first of all, you want to go to a university abroad because your friends are going, right? Very rarely it will be your choice, right? And if it is your choice, then at some point it will be, hey, let me do what my friend is doing, because obviously, that's what the universities would want. So let me do the same thing and get in, right? But that's actually the opposite of what the universities are looking for. What universities are looking for is how Gundeep is unique, how Piyush is unique. And if Gundeep is just following what his friend Saurabh is doing and both are applying, you've got two very similar applications. And even if they have to pick, they'll pick only one, right? And it'll be either you or Saurabh. So probably that's something to think about, carve
Something
your own path.
I think it's very
Yeah.
similar to what you were telling about, the spike in that you need to have in your profile, the exclusivity, the achievements that you need to have. Can you share a little bit about your spikes, about what was so exclusive and different about your profile that it became world class?
Absolutely. So I got lucky in, channelizing what I was passionate about and developing skills on it, right? And I just showed you hacking. I've not done it for a very long time, but around the time I was applying for my grad school, my email ID got hacked, and I was so psyched with hacking. And that is something that I took on interest to. I self-taught myself, and set myself apart as an expert, right? I did hack workshops while I was in college. I ran certified hack workshops. I in fact became the first Indian to win the Asia Hackathon competition. I went on to train CBI officers while I was in my second year college, and I'm training CBI officers 20 years with experience on how to do call forging and VoIP calling. And I trained 1,000 plus cadets in IMA, right? So clearly, I identified something that I'm passionate about and took it to a level that I could, clearly call myself as an expert. And that is what I call it as a spike. So for you, if anybody is wanting to apply, don't do, a thing and be here, right? Apply your energies to it to be the best, because the universities that you're wanting to get into will only pick the best, and you decide where you want to be the best, but be the best. And I believe that excited them. And I talked about me being a hacker, and they liked my story and they got me in.
That's fantastic. And I also remember you told me that you wrote a gazillion research papers while you were in school. So tell us a little bit more about it. What inspired you? How did you manage to achieve that feat?
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good question. And to be honest, I was afraid of research. I always thought, research is something that, is only for Einstein and Newton kind of people. You need to have that eureka moment, right? You need to be really amazing. Otherwise, you'd keep doing research and you have nothing to show for, right? And I was like, I don't know if I can have a fourth law of gravity or something on those lines. So I was staying away. And I met my counselor. In fact, Priyanka, ma'am, if she's on the call, I remember the first call I had, and I said, help me, guide me. And she said, Gundeep, why don't you do a research paper? I said, never done that. She said, give it a shot. And just because it was not done before, I said, let's not eliminate that. Let's give it a shot. I did a research paper, a very basic research paper, nothing rocket science. In fact, it was on hacking, which I was excited about. So I just compared the hacking measures of Chrome browser with Safari browser. It was just a literature review. What all measures Chrome does and what all Safari does. Something that you can easily find on the internet. And I added my opinion to it. I added my viewpoint to it, right? And I did my first research paper. It got accepted by IEEE. And I'm like, oh boy, if this research paper can be accepted at an international forum, I have a lot to talk about, right? And from there to this point, I have 35 research papers that I've written.
So, guys, I think when we think about writing 2 research papers and 3 research papers, and your experts are guiding you, and you find that is tough, uh, to become world class, it takes more than the average, right? So here we have Gundeep, who's done 35 papers, and I think that is something to keep in mind, that you don't have to be an Einstein or a Newton or to have that eureka moments that will change the world. It is what you need. What you need to be able to showcase is that you can observe and you can create value, even though it may be small to begin with, but you can show that you are able to capture the value out there. So I think that is something fantastic, Gundeep, and I think we've overshot our time.
Yeah.
I would want any final words from your side that you would want to share.
Yeah, so Piyush, I think one of the things that I also see with a lot of people, and this is something that I want them to really understand the thought behind this. This would probably be once in a lifetime opportunity. Not many people apply to universities abroad once, maybe twice, but definitely doesn't happen every day, right? It's a once in a lifetime kind of thing, and it's a excruciating process, no doubt, no doubt. It is difficult. You will lose your sleep over it. You will read your applications 20 times, 40 times, and still find a comma that's missing. Do that. But don't forget to enjoy that process. Don't forget to be happy, have fun in that process, right? Because that's not going to. I enjoyed my Columbia days, but I also enjoyed those late night, just waking up and that anxiety of like, hey, can I just change this statement? Can I just put it here in the flow? It fits better. And even after reading it 1,000 times, I was making changes, right? So it's never perfect, but don't kill yourself. Enjoy the process, and remember one thing: that the only person who's responsible for your success is you, and you yourself. No one else, not your university, not your environments, not any factors, nothing. It's just you. Yes, universities can give you a platform to succeed, but they can't guarantee success. I mean, I got a lot of opportunities opened going through an Ivy League education, but the success depends on you. And as the quote says, the success depends on the second letter of the word, you. Remember that.
Thanks, Gundeep. Thanks for your motivation. Thanks for sharing insights about your story, your success. It's fantastic, and I resonate with it so much. And I believe every single thing that you shared. Guys, Priyanka, we are fortunate to have her as part of Admitkard, and she's been instrumental in creating the guidance process at Admitkard. So we would, really encourage you, if you would want to speak to Priyanka and or her team members. Do share in, chime in, and you can go onto our website admitkard.com and get connected with our experts. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your time, Gundeep. Have a lovely evening and have a safe time. And thank you so much for being here. And all the audience, you've been very interactive, sharing in your comments. Thank you so much for joining in. And all of you have a great evening. And thank you so much and goodbye.
Thank you, Piyush. Glad to be here.
Thanks, guys. See ya.